Hey guys, welcome to my favorite week of the year, and that is the 2025 Easter Jeep Safari. And as always, I'm here with Tommy, and we are about to go over my favorite concept Jeep. What is this, Tommy?
This is something really special. This is the Jeep J6 Honcho, and this is a short cab Jeep truck with four-wheel drive and all the right retro flair.
Yeah, basically it's a Wrangler with a bed. Now back in 2019, if you recall, this was also featured as a blue truck, but they have updated it for 2025, and I think they've made it much better. Now this is basically one of the concepts that is for Jeep performance parts. Isn't that right, Tommy?
Which is really interesting because here at the 2025 Easter Jeep Safari, we have a number of concepts that are not labeled as under the Jeep performance part category. So this is getting folks wondering, is this something that Jeep might be putting into production? And we saw it back in 2019, but for 2025, it looks a lot more finished. Now let's talk about what this vehicle is. Obviously, you can buy a Jeep truck right now, the Jeep Gladiator. It's a four-door truck with a 5-foot bed, but this is something a little different.
Yep, this is a basically Wrangler, right, with the wheelbase of a Wrangler with a 6-foot bed. So what you've got is this really beautifully proportioned truck that brings back to me kind of my youth.
Yeah, so it's a 118.4-inch wheelbase, the same wheelbase as a four-door unlimited Wrangler, which is pretty different than the Gladiator. And instead of having a 5-foot bed that the Gladiator has, the J6 Honcho here has a 6-foot bed. But what is crazy surprising is just how well done this concept is. The fit and finish, the quality of design, and the execution is excellent.
All I can say, Jeep, is take my money, take my money. This is production ready. Now, of course, it does have a lift, Tommy. It's got a 2-inch lift, and it's rolling on Jeep performance part Bilsteins, or is it Bilsteins? I always get that wrong.
So this is, as you mentioned, yeah, the 2-inch Mopar lift. Up front, we have a stubby bumper with 4 5-inch light pods, also something you can buy through the Jeep Performance Part catalog. But look, what is so cool about this compared to the 2019 version is the new graphics. So that one was a solid blue, almost like a grabber blue. This one still has the blue integrated into the side on the stripes, on the hood stripes, but it's got a much cooler kind of retro flair. We have these high clearance fenders here in the front. This is a really nice design that kind of harkens back to the old flat fenders. Very, very well done. The quality on these is crazy. We have a rock rail setup here down the side that extends the length of the vehicle. And then of course we have the cab design and configuration, and look at just the finishing details they put on this, the way that the cab kind of meets with the bed. If we open up the door, we can see too, they even incorporated what appears to be a freedom panel in here, or maybe it's just a one-piece hardtop that'll come off. But once again, I'm just shocked at the amount of work they put into, like, for example, the sports bar, which might indicate that this is more than just a one-off concept for the Easter Jeep Safari. This could be something that might make it into production.
I mean, are you teasing the fact that this actually may be something that people could buy at some point?
I mean, I don't want to go as far as that, but what if Jeep and Jeep Performance Part is working on a conversion for four-door Wranglers to make the Honcho just like they had on the JK with the JK8 conversion? That would be really cool.
What do you think of this Baja bar back here?
Yeah, you got that little integrated bar there with the spare tire located here in the bed. There's my dinky little camera bag, so excuse the camera bag, but it looks like we've got a tailgate very similar to what you can find on the Gladiator. It is dampened, and then it's got this really funky blue actual
Rhino liner?
Rhino liner, thank you, Dad, with the integrated bed lights there.
You know what one of my favorite features on this is? How they've put these white accents around the blue recovery hooks. I think that looks really great. And I also love these bronze wheels, Tommy, with the BFG mud terrains. It's such a classic old school look. And you know, we're going to be covering every concept. There's another one here. And so we're going to be publishing the videos one after another. But we started with my favorite because, like I said, Jeep, take my money now. Now, people might be wondering, what's under the hood, Tommy? And it's just a Pentastar.
Well, that's also, you could say just a Pentastar, but this with a 5.7 Hemi would be absolutely legendary. That would be one of the coolest powertrains to exist in any Jeep.
I always struggle with this.
Okay, it's right here.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, there you go.
There it is, yeah.
So that's your standard 295 horsepower Pentastar V6. You can kind of see some of the blue from the old truck, the 2019 truck. But Dad, I think it's time we get it out on the trail and see what it drives like.
All right. Who wants to drive it? You want to drive it?
I definitely do.
All right, you drive
Thank
it.
you.
I'll take the camera.
This is such a cool day. One of the coolest days at work, being able to drive these concepts on actual slick rock. Most car companies build these things and then they say, don't even look at them. Don't even get anywhere near them. And Jeep's like, yeah, go drive them down some rocks. That sounds good.
You know, I really love that, Tommy, because I'm sure these are million-dollar concepts. And yet here we are bashing them on the slick rock. How great is that?
It's fantastic is what it is. Here you'll get a quick shot of us out in the real world in the J6 Honcho. Oh wow, what a machine. This is just incredible.
Tom, you should see it from the outside. It just looks so right. And you know what? This thing would look right in Pismo Beach, or I'm gonna even say it on the streets of Detroit.
There you have it, Dad. But it looks the most right out here today.
I love those bronze wheels. I love the fact that those BFG mud terrains have the white letters facing out. You know, it's kind of a old school truck with new world interpretation. Hey, Tommy, there's another Honcho.
That was even more retro.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to come back. We're basically publishing a concept a day, so
cool.
Over the next several days, we'll publish every concept out here. And I believe there's 7 of them, Tommy.
I believe you're exactly right. So let's talk about what this J6 is like to drive. One thing which is surprising is you look at the cab, right, and you expect it to be really tight inside, kind of like the Jeeps of the 60s and 70s. But with this seat back all the way, I'm 6 feet tall. This is probably a little bit more than I should be back. And it is shockingly roomy in here. I mean, I think if you were over 6'4", 6'5", you'd start to run into some issues. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
People are honking at me here.
Well, you know, a bunch of influencers. They're jealous of our Jeep knowledge, Tommy.
Yeah, yeah.
As I say,
what Jeep knowledge?
Yeah, I say that sarcastically.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
I'm jealous of their short shorts.
There you go. They're Instagram-worthy legs.
Exactly.
No, it's a really comfortable cabin in here. Now you'll notice this one doesn't actually have a screen in it, so that would probably have to be addressed for a production model.
I kind of like it without a screen, and I like the Honcho right there, Tommy.
Yeah, but this is such a cool vehicle, and look, it's the right length for this kind of thing. But I've always felt that the Gladiator is an incredibly capable vehicle, and they look awesome when you lift them and put them on big tires, but stock out of the box, they look a little dinky. Whereas this vehicle, even on 33s, I think would have the right proportions because it's got that shorter wheelbase than the Gladiator, and that really helps with smaller tires. And if they could price this vehicle at $35,000 as a single cab with a manual transmission, this thing would be like the enthusiast dream, and I genuinely think they would have a chance of selling them.
You know, the problem with the Gladiator, and I'm not saying a problem, the design problem with the Gladiator is the same problem with that Honcho concept, and that is you put in a second set of doors and it makes it more of a utilitarian truck versus more of a fun truck, right? This screams like, hey, drive me on the beach at Pismo, whereas that screams, you know, take me to get some lumber.
Well, there is some of that, which is kind of funny because usually short cab long beds are the work versions, but when you outfit it correctly with these lights and these stripes, it just looks the part, and it is just the proportions are what make this vehicle work so well. And even if they don't sell this as a factory vehicle, even if they sell it as like a Mopar conversion kit for 2-door or 4-door JL Wranglers, I think that this could be maybe not a big seller as a conversion kit, but something that the hardcore enthusiasts would definitely be interested and excited about. And it's funny. How's it going, man? It's funny seeing all these concepts here today, right? And they have some much wilder ones, but this is the truck people are most excited about because it just has the look. I can't quite describe it with the magic here, but it just has the look to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it hits everything just right. It's got the right length, it's got the right number of doors, it's got the right lift, it's got the right stickers, and it just makes me happy. And at the end of the day, that's what you know, these concepts are supposed to do. And like I said before, Jeep, please take my money. And for you guys, come back tomorrow where we go through another concept. As always, this is Roman.
Hang on, it's missing one thing.
What's that?
Needs a 5.7 Hemi.
All right. Well,
this thing with the 5.7 Hemi, oh, if it just had a slight V8 burble, it would be perfect.
Anyway, come back tomorrow for another concept. As always, this is Roman.
And Tommy.
saying we'll see you guys tomorrow. Ciao.